Welcome to the Extreme-Vampyr World Podcast, or Extreme Vampires World Podcast, however you want to say it. And I am starting this podcast with Anchor, f.fm. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. Anchor gives you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. Creation tools allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds great. They'll distribute your podcast for you so you can be heard everywhere: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and many more. And trust me, I am now on Spotify, and I love Spotify because I can get any kind of music from past and present. And now I am in the family of Spotify. You can find me on Spotify, but also on Anchor, which you have to start first. You can easily make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. And you have to download the Anchor app on your device or go to anchor.fm. That's ANCHOR.FM to get started. And now, please enjoy the podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, I am Extreme Vampyr. This is Podcast from Hell, and today I want to talk about the new Tool album that has taken a long time to come back, or to come out. It's been 13 years. 13 fucking years, and they finally made a new album. And it's probably one of the most anticipated albums of all time, or anticipated releases of all time, even more than the Guns N' Roses album, which was a complete disappointment. We all know that, but yeah, I'm going to talk about Tool today, and it's all about music, and I will play a track that I made. It's another 1-minute track, and I'm going to play it sometime during the show, so that's what it's going to be about. So, we'll talk about other stuff too. I'll find some news, but yeah, Toll is back. So this is Podcast from Hell, and what better way than to feature a band that sounds like they're living in hell, but it's so pretty. It's the new Tool album, so we'll talk about that after a while. Thank you. This is Podcast from Hell. I'm Extreme Vampyr. Let's rock. Alright, Extreme Vampyr is here, and you are listening to Podcast from Hell, and it is a Tuesday, and it's time to get the show started. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. There's nothing. I did not watch Monday Night Raw. I do not know what's going on. I've seen little pieces here and there, but I do have it recorded. I'm going to watch it later. Tomorrow, expect a review. And until then, we're going to talk about everything else. Well, as I read on, I do have some wrestling news items, and this is for all my wrestling fans. I do want to say, though, that I just recently had contact with Jay Hunter of OSW Review, and he messaged me back concerning my Nagar University card that I should have been gotten in the mail a year ago when I first became a Patreon member, or a patron to OSW Review, and at OSW Old School Wrestling Review. If you haven't heard of them, if you haven't checked them out, they're on YouTube. They, review old school pay-per-views and give you a lot of insight on, how everyone got to that show, and not only that, they are funny, and they like to make fun of old school wrestling, and it's very entertaining. I love it. It makes me happy every time. Episodes do not come out as often as episodes should, because they have to first make the podcast and then turn it into a video, which I can understand. It's kind of hard for me to turn my podcast here into videos, which is a great segue, because you can go on to my YouTube channel and catch the first 3 episodes, well, not all in full form, but you can catch all the first 3 episodes on YouTube. I mean, there's nothing stunningly visual, just the cover art for the podcast, but it's available on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. Extreme-Vampyr is on YouTube. I've been on YouTube. I've tried to do my reviews of wrestling shows, but just nothing stuck. But brings me to another news item that I just read that blew my fucking mind. The Big Show. The Big Show. He's like, one of the top pro wrestlers of the past 25 years. He's a big motherfucker. And, well, he apparently he's getting older, so, he can't be wrestling all the time. He can't be in the ring. And, thank God, because he's so slow. I could fall asleep watching him. But, I just read, I'm trying to find it, but I'm going through all kinds of websites, different websites to find information, so I'm getting lost. He apparently, WWE, in conjunction with WWE, I guess, have signed with Netflix for the Big Show to star in a comedy series. I mean, that's kind of cool, but I can already tell it's gonna be fucking stupid. And I don't know if I have patience to watch that, but if it's funny, if it's entertaining, hey, that's good. I would like to see this show succeed, because Big Show's a very funny motherfucker in real life. He's got great charisma, great presence. I think he'll do well, but will fans be turned off by the Big Show and just because he's a pro wrestler? People be attracted to a comedy series on Netflix starring the Big Show? I don't know. Yeah, that sounds crazy. When I read that, I thought it was those sites that do fake news and fake memes. No, this was fucking real. So and it was on a legitimate wrestling news site, so WrestleView.com. I like to give out shout outs and websites that I use, to give them the rub. Not like I have thousands of listeners right now. I probably have a few that is gonna at least get to this part. But there's more to talk about. Like I said, today we're gonna talk about I'm not gonna get really deep into it, because obviously we can't review the album because it hasn't been released yet. But the new Tool album is scheduled to be released August 30th, and that's 1 month away. It's Tuesday, July 30th. So you just gotta wait 1 more month for the new Tool album. I'm sure a single will show up on streaming on wherever you get your music from, because on August 2nd, the day after my daughter's birthday, by the way, and this Friday, Tool will be available on all streaming services. So, Apple, Google, Spotify. So, not only am I on Spotify, Tool for the first time will be on Spotify. That's kind of cool. Took a while, but well, anyways, what is this album gonna be like? I mean, we haven't been disappointed yet from the last one, 10,000 Days. Wow. That came out a long time ago. I swear they came out with 2 albums in between. It could be my imagination. It could be just got too high one night and I thought that and it stuck in my head. I don't know. But I swear there's been other Tool albums that have been released, but no, it's been 13 years. Can they still rock? Can they still write? I'm a big fan of writing music, which the definition is piecing together sounds and music and notes, piecing together a composition, a composition of instruments playing together to make music. So, I have a lot of respect for Tool because I know they put a lot of work into their shit. They've been known to do that. And, I can identify. If you guys heard my song that I played, I probably will play it again after this segment. I pieced it together little by little, note by note, using a software program on my computer. But, the music, the actual song, it was in my head. I had to, get it out. And I think this is where, Tool has always been known as a great band because they, this is why I like Tool, because of the technical structure of songs that they make. Fade in with a little guitar riff, and then the heavy drums kicking in, and it takes it. Not only do they have the awareness to know that this sound would is abuse. I don't know how to explain it. All I know is and I should, because I claim I'm a musician. I don't know how to play, really, to tell you the truth. I'm not very good. I'm offbeat, I'm sloppy, and I don't practice. I've never practiced. But as I got older, there's certain chords, certain technique, certain strumming patterns that, are just infused into my brain, and, I don't need to, be technically proficient when, I can be sloppy. Kurt Cobain taught me how to play. Well, not in real life, but from me watching him and listening to him. And it wasn't big on Tool back then. They were dark and scary, I guess. Nirvana was more mellow, chill, normal. But as I got older, Tool always had that, when you listen to Tool, you listen to every note, it's taking you through a little journey, especially when you listen to the whole album. Because, the guitar work is awesome. By the way, the past 13 years, Adam Jones from the guitarist of Tool, took to a couple of WWE events. So I don't know if he's a big fan of. He must be a fan because I don't see him needing to associate with a with a circus like the WWE to do a national anthem at SummerSlam. It was a few years back. It was fucking cool because it wasn't announced, but Maynard's been out with his Perfect Circle, Pacifier, and I forget what other projects he's done. I haven't kept up with rock music, at all. After the 90s, that was it. I did not. Music started sucking. But I take that back. It hasn't. It's just the mainstream music that has been distributed out to everyone is not the music we in the 90s where it was all indie, where grunge was stuck out. And at the same time, Tool came out. And they managed to be not just... They managed to just come out and be the band that creates masterpieces. Dark masterpieces. No one else can sound like Tool. And that's why everybody in the world is waiting to hear these new, beautiful sounds that these musicians are going to show us through our ears. And that's what makes music so awesome. And that's why I cherish having a guitar at my disposal right here for me to fuck around and play some songs from low to high, loud, soft to loud, dynamics, rhythm patterns. I feel inspired to play something, but I won't. But I feel inspired to write something later, as I have about 3 devices in front of me. I have my iPhone, my laptop, and my tablet. And and that's pretty much it. I have a notebook over there. Anyways, I'm going off track here. Sorry. Tool, this Friday, Tool will be streaming. So you and I all will have a month to listen to old Tool. And I don't know if they're going to be good. Well, they have to be. They could be disappointing. I don't think Tool can ever disappoint anyone. I don't think they would release anything to the public that they felt was just shit. On the other hand, I will release anything to the public that is nothing but shit. But I'm not a professional at podcasting. I'm not even a professional at talking. I don't even know how I managed to talk for so long and I talk to no one. I guess that in itself is art. Well, we've got a while till this comes out, and I just, I don't know whether this news barely was made Monday or before that. But yesterday, I was scrolling through Facebook or Instagram, one of them, and caught some Tool news because I have, and I was like, whoa, about time. I thought it was another, like I said with the Big Show thing, I thought it was another fake news thing. I don't know what's real anymore. But, I plan on, purchasing some, fine medical marijuana, cleaning out my little weed pipe, and packing that weed all the way till it hovers over the bowl in the pipe. And I plan on just chillaxing and listening full blast to the newest Tool. And that is like, it's going to be awesome. And not only that, you have to listen to it over and over and over and over again. That's how you get used to certain songs. You either hate them or you love them afterwards. And then you get to sing along, and then you're like, oh shit, I gotta learn that guitar part. And then you try to do that, and you're like, this is the greatest album I've ever heard. This is the greatest music ever. Now, here's where I have to ask. Will I like it? Will it be good enough to live up to past songs that they've written? Because we know about how Metallica and other bands have just, like faded away. They're not as great as they used to be. And the more they try to put more stuff out, the less great they become. Is Tool going to be one of those bands, or are they going to be the band that can do no wrong? I think their reputation is on the line right here. And with that, I just gotta say, I'm looking forward to it, whether it's a hit or a miss. And if it's a miss, oh my god. The backlash online, the social media, it would be an fucking outrageous. Anyways, that is my take on the new Tool album coming out. Oh, by the way, like, they are on they're on Instagram, and they have like weird posts, so check them out. It's Tool Band, @ToolBand. Okay, I'm gonna go, and the show's not over yet. I'm going to take a break, which means you are going to take a break, which means there's going to be a break. Why don't we hear how you can make your own podcast using what I'm using? Anchor.fm. And when we all come back and meet up again in hell, we will podcast. Oh, and since we're on the subject of music before we hear about Anchor, listen to The Grudge by me, Extreme Vampyr. I had composed it note by note. Well, not note by note. Measure by measure, we'll see. But, there's a little Tool in it, I think. If Tool and Nirvana fucked, had a baby, The Grudge would be it by Extreme Vampire. Anyways, here it is, and I'll see you in a while with more on this podcast from hell. Hello everyone, I am Extreme Vampire, and I would like to encourage you to help out the Extreme Vampire podcast called Podcast from Hell. And if you like this, what you hear, keep Extreme Vampire up to date with everything. Get him some new equipment. Give him something that he can put into the show. Give him some money. He needs some fucking money, and in order to give him money, you have to visit Extreme Vampire's Patreon, and that would be patreon.com/Extreme Vampire, the way I would spell it. You know, there's a $1 tier, and there's a $5 tier, and anybody that does subscribe will get exclusive free content, and that could be, anything from a shout out. Of course, you will get a shout out for any donation, but you will also receive a exclusive content online, audio, video, extras that didn't make the cut, or deleted podcasts from the list of shows I have available. So go on to Patreon and help me out so I can make some better recordings, better material. I'll have more time in the day to do other things, and that means I can give you more content, more stuff to talk about. So with that being said, enjoy the rest of the show. And, please go to patreon.com and search Extreme Vampire and, donate $1, 99 cents is the minimum, I believe, and so just, donate $1 a month. That's all I need. Well, that's all I, really want, is just a little bit of just to know that people care about anyone. I've been around the internet for like 15 years almost. Doing stuff here, doing stuff there. You could probably find stuff from 15 years ago. That's a long time of doing nothing. In those 15 years, I had a daughter whose birthday is very soon, in a couple of days, and I hope she'll let me interview her, just to get her on one of these episodes, maybe a little more comfortable hearing her own voice or talking. But it will be her birthday, and I want to celebrate it by putting her on my show. Is this a top-rated show? Damn dog. Sorry, if there might be dogs in the background when I record at the Vampire Studio, so, be very aware of that. What was I saying? Yeah, I just want my daughter to, maybe, later on in life, as we get older, I would have this recording online of me and her talking, and it will be, something of a nice, memory, time capsule, just to know that, hey, we did a podcast together. A legit podcast as far as distribution goes. As far as quality and content, it's a bit of a farce, I admit, but my sources are limited, and my time is limited. I can't pull off the best or greatest sounding podcast in the world. I can't even talk very loud because I don't want no one to hear, just the way I talk. that I'm talking to no one. But I'm not talking to no one. I'm talking to you. That's right, you. And I just want to thank you all for showing a little support, and it gives me enough motivation to keep on doing this. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this daily thing, because it's getting late, and I want to get a nice 60-minute long podcast going, but there's not much to talk about. I will say this: I have been enjoying my how I've been putting together the cover art for each of these episodes, and my I've changed up some of my I've used the current drawing, fixed it up, and now I have new design, new graphics to display on all of my social media, and that feels pretty cool, like a new layer of skin being wrapped around me little by little. And I still see some of my old drawings and old logos that are floating around, and I need to get those and save them and store them somewhere so I can use them again one day, or sell them when they're all, I don't know. But if you want to sell anything, or no, if you have drawings, okay, say like me. Now here, I tried to do a podcast a few months ago, and I don't know how it came out. I never listened to it, but I did talk a lot about my drawing and my Etsy shop, and how I'm trying to build some sort of audience. But I have lost my desire and motivation to draw and work on that, and make stuff that looks good enough to someone would want it. I did get a sale last week, but I'm not selling anything really. I'm not making any money. It's just, and with that, I found this podcasting. All I have to do is just talk into my phone and talk like I'm telling you guys everything. So, I haven't really been able to get that itch to draw again. And when I do, it's because I'm paranoid and scared, and drawing gets me, calms me down. What I drew last, I think you might remember episode 2 about being home alone. I drew what I thought was the ghost or demon sitting in a chair with a baseball cap at a glance. He was there for a quarter of a second. And, I drew him. And that's the last thing I drew. And that became I don't know. I kind of went psycho. Not to anyone, but to myself. In my vampire studio, I had sharp objects and woke up with scratches on my arms. Just scratches. Nothing deep. But I remember having that temptation to cut, and I didn't want to, but it was so strong. I was just looking for anything. Paper clips, safety pins, thumbtacks, anything that had a sharp edge to it that I could you know, mutilate myself. And I was feeling awful. And it was probably from a little bit of alcohol. And from just, I don't know, a lot of stress. But anyways, I got over it. And, here I am. Talking about it. So, that's pretty much all I gotta say. Oh, yeah, and, so I haven't been able to draw. Like, there's no motivation, there's nothing I want to draw, there's nothing that inspires me. It feels like it's hard work, which it is, because it takes a lot out of me. And I can't seem to figure out what I want to draw at any time. Stuff just comes to me, and then I draw it, and that's it. And then I wait for the next one. Or I'll do several random sketches, and then leave them, come back a week later, and, sketch some more around it, and see what comes out of it. Everybody has their methods of, creating art. Everybody has their meanings of what they call art. So, it's like beauty is in the eye of the beholder. That's what, I think, to certain people, my drawings, I've had feedback, look, some people don't like my drawings. They either look sloppy or evil. They don't find the artistic value in it. The work that had to be done, the vision of what was in my head to the paper or screen in this case. But some people do appreciate the darker things, as far as morbid, grotesque, shocking imagery. And that is beautiful to some people. Like blood squirting out eyes, or blood gushing eyes. If you are online and you want to see some of my art, Vampire Creative Arts on Etsy is where I sell my art for very, very cheap. And Pinterest, Vampire Creative Arts, and Instagram, extreme-vampyr, extreme_vampyr, the way I spell it, VAMPYR. So, check out my art. Leave me some comments. Well, I know a lot of you do on Instagram. There's a lot of you are artists on there, and I kind of have, everyone, I have my little circle of so I might steal some of your guys' art and post it. Not claim that it's mine, but I'll post it and, get the eyes heading towards my, direction. Attention towards my direction, so I can, get those hits, get those views. And that's what you're supposed to do. I'm not doing a podcast just because I'm bored. No, I want to make some money, and I'm sure you do too. And I'll tell you about it later in a little bit, in how you can podcast and make money too. Am I making a lot of money? No, but I hope that I build a bigger audience as I go along and do these podcasts on a daily basis. I might take weekends off. I don't know. Or I just might take whatever day I want off and do random podcasts everywhere. Because the more I put out, the better. Now, the show has to end at some point. But how will I end it? As we talked about art, my art projects, my art passion, my art skill, my art talent. There you go. My ability. I'm not the best artist. My brother, older brother, he gets down. When I mean he gets down, he gets down. He knows how to fucking draw. He drew more in the 80s than Hogan ever could. If you catch that reference. I wouldn't say he was trained. He taught himself, but he went to the art institutes in Seattle and learned how to do, I don't know what he learned how to do. I was a teenager at that point, and a reckless teenager, by the way, and my hormones were, everything was, I couldn't keep track of anything, kind of like I do now, but that's the story for another episode. All this we brought up again. I have a lot, I haven't even scratched the surface, literally. I mean, not literally, but you know how people say that, but no, really. There's a lot I want to say, but I can't just say shit here, say another, something else here, and then have you piece everything together. No, I want everything nice and structured, so there will be episodes where I talk about nothing but one subject for the whole hour, but story. And, we'll get into that as the show's progress. I'm thinking around another month, I'll start busting out some interesting stories. And those are my plans. But for interesting stories this week, I have my daughter's birthday, August 1st. And I plan on, putting out an episode where I, tell stories about my daughter. Now, me and her, we barely got along. I mean, got to know each other again. Well, she did. It's like 3 years ago, maybe, I think. Or was it? Yeah. So, now, we've been in touch. We hang out on occasions. We don't live together. She's in a different city, and I'm in where I'm at. And so there's not much stories of me and her. But what I do have is memories and stories of when she was a baby, and I took care of her. Like, day and night. I was the mom and the dad. And, I was proud. I was down to fucking be, and I was sober. No alcohol, no cigarettes, nothing. I was it was best years of my life, being a father, taking care of a baby, till she was 2 years old. Every day. And I don't want to spoil anything. I can't. Because this is, I'll save this for the birthday episode. I think that's what I'm going to call it. But, yeah. There's lots of, little things that she did that she doesn't remember. But little things that I will always remember forever till the day I die. So, I just want to say that, and that's going to be Thursday's show. I may record it on Wednesday, so there might not be a show If there is, it'll be pieced together as a mini show, bonus episode. I don't know. But, that's my plan. And that's, pretty much the big show for this podcast. So, I'm gonna go, and I'll wait for you guys to come back. Or I'll come back and sign off, and we'll await more podcasts, more episodes of interesting stories of my life. Why am I the extreme vampire? Why am I depressed? Why do I cut myself? Well, I'm gonna lay it all out one day. It's gonna be interesting, and it's gonna be hard for me to say certain things. Me, I don't want anybody to know anything, so. But if you're gonna listen, I'm gonna talk. So, I'll be back in a little bit to sign off. Till then, thank you all for listening so far. Okay, I'll talk to you in a little bit. Alright, okay. Extreme Vampire, I'm back. This is Podcast from Hell, and it's time to sign off. Time to say goodnight. Because it's probably the time of day you're going to be listening to this, if anybody is listening to this. Because it's been a long day, a lazy day, trying to record and think of something to talk about. And I could just ramble on and on and on and just talk about whatever, but I want a little more, structure here. Anyways, I coincidentally just got off, well, not off the phone, but off a message, Facebook Messenger with my baby's mama, my daughter's mother, and, wondering of me and my daughter's plans for the day. And I gave her the rundown about, things that me and my daughter already talked about. So, it's all good. And they're going to have a nice trip this weekend. And so I want to, pray that God be with them so they can come back home safe. Because, not just my daughter, everyone. And, because I'm not evil, I'm just, fucked up. Anyways, now I'm a little more excited and a little more nervous at the same time and anxious to see my daughter on her birthday, but, I'm gonna get her a bunch of things, and she's gonna appreciate it. Whether she appreciates it now, or when she's older, is irrelevant, but, she will, appreciate me one day, and, that's all I want, is just her to know that I am here for her. And I'm going to try to get her to at least say something on the podcast. Maybe a little intro to the show. That could be nice. And, I'm planning on doing a birthday episode for her, so I'm going to have to look back and find out what am I going to talk about. That's a whole big task all in itself. I will say this: me and her are going to go and have a outing to see A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like, they're going to have a special showing in October around here, and she likes she likes scary movies, and she likes movies that I wasn't allowed to watch at her age. Well, wait a minute, I take that back. No, I saw Nightmare on Elm Street when I was 5. That's why I'm all fucked up in the head. But, that's life. That's life. That's how people get shit that they get from the environment around them. So, anyways, I have to go. It was nice chatting with everyone. It was nice doing this mellow, calm episode. I will be watching some Monday Night Raw tonight and some SmackDown. Maybe not tonight, but tomorrow night. I will have some reviews. I'm going to take notes. I'm going to review this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Well, at least just the one. So, for all you wrestling fans who have been, following me on my YouTube channel, because it's mostly wrestling videos, I'm going to return back to some of my wrestling roots as I try to catch up with what's going on. So anybody... Oh, and I just launched an amino page. Well, I had it, but I just fixed it up as, the app has more features and graphics. And so I'm on amino at extreme-vampyr, and it's one word. No. The underscore is between extreme and vampire, and I believe it's the E's at the end, no underscore. Find me. You can't miss me. So it has all my podcasts posted and linked. Well, not all of them, but randomly. I'm so unorganized online, I swear. You can find me. You can Google this podcast for more episodes if you can't find them. And I am on a lot of sites, as I Googled myself earlier. It was quite alarming what's up there, because some stuff I took down because of things I said, and they're still up there, uncertain. But I'm not going to tell you where or what I said. You're going to have to find it yourself. And if you do, I'm pretty sure it ain't that bad. I just didn't like it. It didn't match the style of the podcast that I wanted. So, anyways, some of those are still up. You gotta find them. I ain't gonna tell you where they are. By the time you do look for them, I'm already talking to customer support for each of these sites to get them down. So. Or they'll be taken down themselves, because that's what happened to the rest of them. So, anyways, this is the podcast. It's not the podcast from hell. It's just podcast from hell. It's podcast from hell. But this is my show. I am extreme-vampyr. I can talk loud, I can talk low, I can tell scary stories, I can tell cute stories. I will be telling cute stories for Chloe's birthday, or the birthday episode. So, there will be no cussing. There will be no fucking F word. There will be no shit. There will be none of these bad words, as I will be in total father mode, and hopefully I can get her to record a few minutes of her just insight on life as she turns 14, and hopefully she doesn't get scared. So that's going to be an interesting episode. It's going to be a whole different format. I'm not going to be able to cuss. Well, I could. It's my show, but because out of respect for my daughter, I will not cuss on this particular episode about her. So expect that's what's coming up. Reviews of Raw and birthday episode. After that, more random shit. Unless I find something I want to talk about. So I want to thank everyone who has been listening, who has been, checking out my pages so that I can look and see the statistics and see that, people are checking out my show. So I don't know what the feedback is, if it sucks or not. I'm just saying whatever I'm saying. And the way I would say anything talking to a person with me in the same room. So some days I'm good, some days I'm bad. But anyways, I gotta go. This has been Podcast from Hell, starring Extreme Vampyr, me. And this has been episode number 7. And, look for episode number 8 coming soon, and 9 and 10. I believe 10 would be a special episode, so. And there might be bonuses in between, so that's my schedule. And I'm gonna run with this podcast as far as it goes. So, share with whoever. Share with your enemy. Help me get more people to listen to me. I don't know what kind of, powers I have as far as healing with my voice, but who knows? So, anyways, it's Tuesday night. Hopefully you're listening to it on Tuesday night. Or you can listen to it tomorrow, or the next day. Just keep listening, keep trying. And, if you're making your own because you've been inspired by me, give me the link to your podcast, and I'll check it out.